Are we? Oh, I don't see them. They're not switching.
We're
Yet.
live. Huh?
They haven't switched yet, though.
What hasn't switched?
Emergency, do it live. Hold on a second. What is this? Oh,
It's
there we go.
live.
there's some.
I was like,
there
no
it is. There it is.
Cecil, I really thought for a second we were going to go live and we were just going to be no one here.
Man. God.
What's going on, everybody? Anything interesting going on?
No. Nothing.
Trump media down another 9%, according to Darth Reaper. That's delicious.
Hold on. I hear something.
Good thing we shorted it.
That looks terrifying. Holy shit, dude. God damn, Ian.
We're doing it. Well, I only had like 10 minutes to do this, not even 5 minutes.
That is an insult to Gary to merge him with Bill O'Reilly.
It's so funny
to be honest, it kind of looks like a young Tom Curry.
Hey. It does a little.
Actually, kind of looks like your son a little. Looks like Finn.
Him and Tom merged together.
How's everybody doing
Hey,
tonight?
guys.
How are we doing tonight?
there
We just
we
thought
What is going on out there?
we just thought we'd come live
beautiful-
and see if anything happened.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to put it on the big screen. Let's see.
I found out because Cecil texted me. So I'm kidding. This is gonna be like a 9/11 thing, like, where were you when you found out? How did you find out?
Just put this.
Cecil?
I'm going to put this up on the big screen. I found out because my wife texted me. I was sitting in my office and I'm doing work.
Yeah.
And I get a text and I was like, "Shut the fuck up." That's the first thing that came out of my mouth. Was, "Shut the fuck up." And then I ran to my wife's office and I banged on the door and I was like, "Did that really happen?" And she said, "It's live right now." And I came in and it was on the thing. And then when I walked out of that office, I immediately texted you.
Yeah, it was, and like I happened to be sitting with Haley and she had the TV on and I was like, turn it off. And I was like, look, like it is, just pointed it out. Ian, how did you find out?
I did. I knew. I actually knew. I didn't know why we were going live though, so I didn't put that together. I was just like, oh yeah, it's Thursday, so I guess we should go live.
You gotta be
but then I was like,
oh
right, this is actually
those guys
important.
talk about news.
Nothing
shit.
big happened today.
I forgot you guys talk about news. I
That's
forget.
amazing.
I just saw it on like the headline, but in the story it didn't say anything. It just said like guilty of all counts, and then
you thought it was about something else. You were like, I don't know.
I thought it was. I was like, what?
This is about,
this
this is about sports or something.
Right? Yeah.
My phone absolutely lit up. I wonder if this will work. So I've mentioned on the show before that my dad has met Donald Trump. I think I've mentioned this, but my dad back in the day. So I got a quick story. So my dad back in the 80s sometime, my dad worked at a big bank in Chicago downtown, and he was an officer at the bank, and I think he was like a vice president or something. And so he was sitting in a room, and Donald Trump was in that room, in like a meeting room.
Sure.
And I think Donald Trump wanted a loan or some bullshit, like whatever. Like, so he's sitting there. My dad is sitting there with him, And Donald Trump was an enormous ass.
Really?
He was an enormous shock of
feels
shocks.
Uncharacteristic.
And he wouldn't speak to anybody who was not at least the senior or executive vice president or above.
Okay, all right.
And so my dad, being my dad, he was offended once in the early 80s. And he has carried that hate and that grudge with him forever. My dad does not give any shits about politics, none whatsoever. So you texted me. My phone goes off. I missed the phone call. I get this voicemail. It's from my dad. This is the happiest I've ever heard my dad.
Trump guilty on all 34 counts. Catch you later.
That's it?
Let me try it again. So fucking thing. All right, hold on.
That's how you're going to figure it
Please don't dox his phone number as well, please. Or yours.
Hey, Trump guilty on all 34 counts. Catch you later.
I love your dad.
That's
It's just like, I just wanted to say one thing.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Hey, John, you can text. You can just text it.
I just loved it. I loved it.
It's amazing. Yeah, 34 counts. Trump is guilty, and we talk about it on the show today. So on Monday, you'll get a chance to hear about it. But we wanted to reach out to, spend a couple of minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes online, just talking to people, seeing how people are reacting. As it stands right now, what's that?
Or earlier if you're a patron.
Yeah.
Patreon.
as it stands right now, he's guilty on all accounts. And, this is a big deal.
It is.
In American history. It's not just a, I know that there's a lot of people like we talk about on the show and you'll hear about it on Monday, but, genuinely a lot of people, I think, they feel vindicated today because he's done so many bad things in the past and while he's president and he's been a bad person and he's done a lot of horrible shit. And him actually getting, charged with something is something that we don't get a chance to see very often in the American justice system. Somebody who's powerful having to face consequences. So it's a big deal. But for American history, this is a huge deal. Like, I mean, there's going to be, there's times in American history where people write about stuff. This is going to be a history. There's going to be a lot of PhDs written because of the things that are happening right now.
Yeah, you're exact. This is whole careers, classes, entire classes will be taught on this moment in American history. It's the biggest possible deal.
Yeah.
It's a massively big event that is like really going to be the thing, I think, politically, like Watergate, that defines our lives.
Sure.
It will define our lives. And I will say, when he was first indicted, I was like, none of this, like, he'll never get convicted. Like, he'll never, like, there'll be one fucking MAGA asshole on any jury who digs his foot in and refuses to see reason and just won't even.
Here's why I think that might not matter as much. There's been multiple times where grand juries who have to hear a lot about evidence, who come from, the people, they sometimes have, far right people on them, and they still wound up wanting to indict him on things.
That's very true. You're very true.
So, you know what I mean? They're not hearing as much stuff as what's happening in this case, but you hope that the New York is making their case well, and they are bringing out a bunch of facts and showing people what exactly happened and persuading the jury that this was a crime and that this is something that he should be punished for. So you would hope that even more so than those grand juries, that there would be people who would be convinced easier because, there was competent people at the wheel. And from what I saw, they did an interview with the guy who was sort of the DA in charge of the whole thing after it was over, and it was just a press conference that he did. And I want to say he wasn't gloating, he wasn't celebrating.
To that on my ride in. Yeah.
He was matter of fact. He was just saying how happy he was that the process worked and that there was people there dedicated, both public servants and civil servants, who went out of their way to do this hard work of being a juror, this hard work of being a prosecutor, and what happened is they went into a room, argued with each other, and figured out whether or not he was guilty.
I listened to that on my drive in, and I will say Alvin Bragg didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a moment. He's a bigger man than I, because I probably would have been like, "Oh yeah, bitch."
No, I know. Tackle the fucking podium. You got it up over your head. You back break it.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a great moment. And I think too that this, there is a momentum to justice sometimes.
Yeah.
And I do hope that this is the first of 34 dominoes to fall. And it is, to your point about history, this is the first time in American history that a president or former president or presidential frontrunner was convicted of a felony. Now, other people have run from jail.
Sure.
But in the process, this is also incidentally the second time and the third time and the fourth time, all the way up to the 34th time.
34th time. Yeah.
So, it's just fucking great. It's just fucking great.
Someone said earlier this is bigger than Watergate, and they're right, because Watergate.
Oh my God.
Watergate. The president at the time sidestepped all that by stepping down and then by getting pardoned. Nothing happened to them. None of all that stuff stalled immediately afterwards. There was smart people in government at the time that said this was a bad idea. Don't do it. You gotta step down. You'll get pardoned, etc. And what happened is at the end of his life, people went to his funeral.
Right. Yeah. You're right.
You know what I mean? This is somebody who I think a lot of people. I'm sure there was a lot of America that didn't forgive him. Right. I'm sure that was true. But there's also a lot of people who, went to his funeral when he died.
Do you think that Trump's name will become as historically synonymous with American corruption as Nixon's name has been?
Absolutely.
You don't think that the way that American politics has shifted will change that?
No, because universities are liberal.
Okay, there you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I think
they're fact-based institutions.
I think if you have an institution that's based on facts, that's not going to change. I think any of the really deep research on it. There's plenty of pop books out there that are going to sing his praises from now on. There's one being written right now that this was a scam. That this was a scam trial. There's one being written. There's not just one. There's multiples being written right now to market to that group of people, to tell them how big a scam this was.
You know, he started fundraising on it immediately.
Immediately. I saw
literally immediately.
I got texted. Somebody texted me already. They said, "Oh yeah, here's one of his fundraising meals."
Fucking A, man.
Immediately.
What is also delicious about all this is that although he has managed to fundraise off of a lot of the stuff that has been going on, he still couldn't make his fucking bond.
Oh, I know.
He's still he's falling apart.
Yeah.
The walls are closing in around this piece of shit.
Yeah.
Here's what I think. If he does not win in November, he loses the next 3 cases.
I think
and he
so
goes
too.
to prison.
I think so too. I think, we're going to find out more. Somebody's saying that sentencing is on July 11th. That's true. Maybe we'll go live on, I don't know what day of the week July 11th is. What day of the week is July 11th? Now I got to look it up.
Yeah.
Just to double check. Cause if we're in the studio, maybe we go, it's a Tuesday.
Thursday.
Is
it
a Thursday?
It's a Thursday. I was looking at June.
They did it for us.
They did it.
Thursday, July 11th. Let me check my calendar.
So it's possible.
That's awesome.
It's a Thursday.
We will see.
Also, oops.
Thursday, July 11th.
So we might be coming back on a Thursday, July 11th, just so we could have a conversation about what happens then. Because it might not be as happy a conversation. It might be that the judge is like, oh, well, I'm just going to give you, a slap on the wrist,
yeah.
and then that's it. Because it's the first time. It's the first time he's a first time offender, et cetera, et cetera. So
they also take age into account, which I think is.
Yeah.
I actually think that's kind of like patronizing bullshit, to be honest with you. Like being old does not mean you don't know right from wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Being old doesn't mean that you are somehow less guilty of the thing you just fucking did than being young.
It's so weird because he's simultaneously a frail old dude who can't go to jail, but also a powerhouse masculine guy who's on a cowboy on his NFTs who's, the toughest guy in the world.
Yeah, he's an astronaut and a cowboy and a race car driver
guy and whatever.
Uh-huh.
It's weirdly, he's got all his bases covered all at the same time.
Do you think if he does go to jail, do you think he'll show up wearing Trump sneakers? Like, so you could see like the gold jumpsuit and then the gold, the orange jumpsuit and the gold sneakers.
Right?
It'd be a good look.
Will you be able to discern his skin from his jumpsuit?
Oh, no.
It's both orange.
No, he basically he would look naked.
He'd look like, he'd look like he's naked. Yeah. If he drew nipples, like little nipples on his suit, you would be like, Jesus Christ.
And like a tiny
Put a
dong.
shirt on. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like this is also, we were talking about it earlier, Tom. Do you think that there's going to be any kind of extremism because of what happened today?
I am really, really, really worried that, yes, I do. I am, his supporters are so unhinged. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of his supporters are so unhinged that I am worried that there will be a violent backlash. I think the sentencing will play a big role in that.
Sure.
I think that if he loses in November, that we really should buckle up for some potential violent aftermath. I think authorities should be prepared for the worst if he loses in November.
Do you think that if he loses in November, that's the last you'll see of him politically?
Yes, I think he's gone.
You think that the Republican Party at that point will cut their ties?
They'll abandon him.
You think so?
like a rat. Yep, I really do. I think like a fucking rat.
That would be fucking amazing.
It'll be overnight. I think if he loses in November, it will literally be overnight because the only use that his utility for them will be spent. And America, this is the one exception. Historically, America hates a loser. If you run for president and lose,
you're not wrong.
You're just gone.
You're not wrong.
You just disappear. What the fuck happened to Howard Dean? Think about all the losers who ran. Like, what the fuck happened to Dan Quayle or Bob Dole or John Kerry.
What happened to Hillary Clinton?
Yeah. I mean, if you're Hillary Clinton right now, by the way, are you not just laughing your ass off?
I think that there should just be a live stream of her just drinking a box of wine right now. That's what I think. I think there should just be a live stream of her just ending an entire box of wine on her own.
Yeah, I think so.
And here's the thing, man. She warned us about this a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it's not like this stuff wasn't known. There's probably been whisper networks of this shit for a long time. Nobody could say anything, but there's genuinely been people who knew about this stuff who couldn't say anything or couldn't prove it.
Did you listen to the Daily this morning?
I didn't, no.
So in the Daily this morning, they had a producer who had signed an NDA about being on The Bachelor. He was a producer of The Bachelor.
Okay.
He'd signed a 20-year-long NDA. His NDA expired. And he came out and was like, yeah, my NDA's up so I can say some shit. And like, I don't know if it'll get corroborated by other people, but essentially like, he's like, yeah, Trump would drop N-bombs all the time. Like, oh, this guy can't win.
Apprentice. You said Bachelor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. The Apprentice. I said fucking all that reality shit's the same shit. But yeah,
he was on Survivor. Trump's trying to eat a raw fucking shellfish on a beach. Oh, fucking amazing.
But yeah, it was great. Like he's like,
that doesn't surprise me at all. Though.
Yeah,
like that doesn't
surprise me at all.
Yeah,
he basically is like making comments like, like, oh, should this person win? Nobody will believe like if an N-word wins.
No shit
like that. I mean, like egregious shit. And one of the things that person was saying is there are other people that know. To your point about whisper networks, there are other people that know, and these NDAs will be up for other people. And it might be the case too that like when somebody sees someone's down, they feel more comfortable coming out.
Yeah.
They feel more comfortable being like, all right, they're not as powerful as they were. Maybe now is my chance. So I do wonder too, November's a long time from now.
Yeah. And you're not wrong about America disliking a loser and how quickly the people turn on each other.
Yeah.
Someone says they'll be on Naked and Afraid. They wouldn't have to do a lot of blurring. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of blurring.
One pixel.
One couple pixels. No big deal, right?
Smudge. Dude, that guy's belly hangs past his dick anyway. That dude hasn't seen his dick since the fucking 90s.
Hey, stop dick shaming. So we're gonna get emails. I'm just not waiting for that.
Oh my God. He wouldn't last 5 minutes on Naked and Afraid. No, he wouldn't. Can we talk about that show real quick? Have you seen that show?
I have. So I've watched it from like a disinterested computer. Right. So I'm on a computer.
You're
and
familiar
it's on. I'm on the. I've seen it in the room, but I've never really sat down to watch.
Here's what I love the best about that show. They take two people, strip them buck ass naked. They give them like one thing. Like you get a knife, you can have like a stick or whatever they fucking give them. Then they have to live. I think it's something like 21 days in like whatever horrible, nasty conditions they have to live in. And at the end of it, Cecil, they edit the whole thing down to 48 minutes and there's no prize. That's my favorite part of that show.
There's no prize?
There's no prize. And your whole like 20-day experience or whatever is one episode. It's an hour episode, but with commercials. So you fucking endure all this shit so you can be naked on TV for 48 fucking minutes and be like, I was on that show. And you get nothing.
You get nothing?
You get nothing. You get diddly
like
fuck out of it.
That's what I don't get. Like
you get nothing.
Like nothing?
That's it. Yep.
That's fucking
awesome.
Crazy, man. That's fucking insane. What do you think? Do you think that this changes his chances in the polls in the next few months? Do you think it goes up? Do you think it goes down?
I think it goes down. I think that
you hope it goes down.
But I also think that, well, like in the polls. So, okay. I think this hurts his electoral chances because I think that there will be people who are just less excited to go vote.
I think people forget. I know that there's going to be the vociferous people out there that are going to say, I'm going to vote for him no matter what. I'm going to vote for him even harder now.
They always
great.
Are. Yeah.
That's great. Whatever. But I think that there's going to be a group of people out there that are going to be, they're going to be chilled because of this. They're not going to be as excited. They're going to be a lot more willing to just see him shuffle off into the distance. Yeah. They're going to be like, I'm done. I'm sort of over the Trump train right now. I'm done with it. And to be honest, when he was running before, he was running against Biden. And I don't think he had 75 million diehard supporters.
No,
I think he had 75 million people that didn't want to see Biden as, and of that, maybe 30 million diehards, right? But he had 75 million people that didn't want to see Biden as president. After January 6th and all the other things that happened, because that all happened after the last election.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All that, like all these criminal cases, this indictment and the convictions, all his fucking January 6th stuff, all that happened afterwards.
Yeah, I really think, I think this will drive more people to RFK. I think this will discourage a lot of right-wing voter turnout. I think a lot of right-wingers just gonna be like, I'm just not gonna stay. I'm gonna stay home. I also think this really complicates the calculus in a way that is impossible for them to win for Republicans in Congress.
Yeah.
Because right now, they have to stand up and support Trump. He's the presumptive nominee. They just have to do it. But also, if he loses and you backed that horse after that horse was declared a felon, and now he lost twice in a row, and you're on record for years vociferously backing that guy, you've got all kinds of fucking egg on your face. This is a no-win situation. If Trump loses in November, the entire Republican Party will eat an enormous amount of shit. A generational amount of shit.
I think the people who have been sort of either very softly supporting him or sort of outwardly pushing him away so far, because there have been more and more people that have been sort of coming out and pushing him away. They have to come out now and be like, no more of this, no more of this.
Yeah, I think this is
because if not, you're like you said, you're gonna wind up forever being a person who was part of that group that put him in power.
We talked about this before. This could split the Republican Party.
I've been saying that, but God, I fucking wish
this could split the Republican Party.
A MAGA party and a Republican party.
A MAGA party and a Republican party. Yeah, especially Cecil. If in November, I'll go so far as to predict it, if in November he loses. I think there will be people who are stuck now with a horse they back. I'm talking like the Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Sure, the people who can't get it. Yeah.
They're stuck. They're locked
Lindsey
in.
Graham's.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Graham is a slithery fucker.
He's
so
slippery,
who knows?
so maybe
But
not.
I think this could split the party, especially if Trump loses.
I don't think you're wrong. I think there's a possibility it could split the party. I say that as somebody who genuinely is hoping for that. Yeah. I would love to see that party split. I would love to see the people who are so far right and so, just been so bad for this country push over to the side and then make themselves irrelevant. Yeah, I would love to see that.
And I think that this is such a delicate moment. If I'm a Republican operative right now, if I'm a Republican a congressperson or senator, and I've been supporting Trump, and I've been a diehard, and I've been a vocal, and I've been carrying his fucking banner, this is worse for me than it is for Trump. I really think that. Because if you're Trump, you're either going to win or lose. This is very binary.
Yeah.
But your career is at the tail end of your career. There's nowhere for you to go.
Sure.
There's no lateral moves. This is it. It's either president or prison.
There's nothing.
Very binary.
There's not a lot of shifting. Most people don't lose the presidency and then, continue on with their career. I mean, I guess John Kerry's somebody who did lose the presidency and then continue on as a senator and then became a secretary of state or whatever.
Right.
But there's a lot of times that doesn't happen.
It's pretty rare.
It's pretty rare.
Yeah.
Did you see him at the Libertarian Party this week? Did you see Trump? So Trump came out at the Libertarian Party and he's speaking on stage at the Libertarian Convention. And they booed him for a minute and a half straight. A minute and a half straight.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So there was a bunch of people booing him and screaming at him because, he came out and said, are you going to vote for me or are you just going to waste your vote? And
they're like, we're libertarians.
I've been wasting my vote my whole life.
Right. They're like, wasting our vote is our fucking ideology.
Are you kidding me?
That's fucking
I should
delicious.
find it really quickly and see if I can find Trump getting booed, and maybe we can.
James is saying nobody will be voting for RFK unless he runs independent since he was eliminated from Libertarians. I bet he'll run independent, though. I would be very surprised if RFK doesn't do that.
I think the organizer at the Libertarian thing also said, guys, be respectful. We can have differing opinions. Don't be like those liberal cucks on campus. Listen to what Trump has to say, shaming them.
And then they booed
Then they booed him. They booed the shit out of him.
All right, so here we go. Let's play it. Okay, so.
I can't wait to watch this.
This is Trump getting
God,
booed.
he's eating so much shit.
Now I think you should nominate me or at least vote for me, and we should win together.
I want that as my ringtone.
You heard those words. Nominate me or vote. Vote for me. Because the Libertarians want to vote for me, and most of them will. And it's very important.
They booed the shit out of him.
And it's very important.
I love how he's just like, and he like makes his fucking weird
Oh,
faces,
God.
mugging at the camera.
Oh, so good. So good, man. Get the fuck out of
This
here.
is so good.
This
is delicious.
There has been, for the longest time, him just basically tapping his dick on America's forehead.
Yeah.
For the longest time.
Forever, yeah.
That has been essentially what we've had to live through since like 2016.
Yeah.
Since he got elected, he's been insufferable and shitty. And even after he got beat, he's been insufferable and shitty and awful, right? And a bad person.
Yeah.
And he's been the world's worst winner and the world's worst loser simultaneously.
If this is the first domino in the downfall of Trump, if this is, right? And it's been a rough year for him, right? I mean, civil convictions in the hundreds of millions of dollars, 34 felony convictions.
And those
now.
fucking civil convictions don't look like they're going to be overturned.
They do
either.
not, no.
So, I mean, he paid that money to get an appeal, but chances are that appeal, it doesn't look like that appeal's going to overturn that money. And then they just get that money.
Right.
So,
and then, he's also very likely, I think, to keep defaming the woman, and she'll fucking
he hasn't
she'll
stopped.
do it again.
He hasn't stopped yet.
Like they'll just keep.
It's like Rudy. He can't shut his mouth.
I
Just
know.
keep on fucking taking him to court.
So here's the real question, too, that I've been thinking about is if this is the first domino in the eventual downfall of Trump and the Trump family, Trump organization, will this also end the trolling political mechanic?
No, absolutely not.
I don't think so.
Absolutely
either.
not.
I think they see the value in that
not.
mechanic.
No. I think that that trolling mechanic is here to stay.
Yeah.
I think that, and the reason why I think that, Tom, is because I've seen in my lifetime a Republican Party that at least had a platform become a Republican Party that has no platform.
Literally.
Their platform
Literally.
is, how can I make you feel bad? How can I make you, how can I hurt your feelings? I mean, think about Alito, right? Think about what happened with Alito recently. He had that upside down flag. There wasn't a political discourse between him and his neighbors.
Right.
It was, how can I make you feel bad? How can I make you recognize that I'm going to be somebody who's going to, I'm in power and I stand with this guy who just tried to overthrow the government.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're exactly right, because they literally had no platform.
None.
They didn't even bother to put one out. They're just like, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
Our platform is Donald Trump.
And their platform was, for the longest time, border security. And then the Democrats offered them an embarrassing border package as a Democrat, as somebody who's voted
Somebody
Democrat.
who hates that border package. Yeah,
I thought it was awful, and they still offered it up, and then they refused it. So they're not about border security.
No, they're not about anything.
Because they could have had the best funding of that area of the government in the longest time.
Yeah.
And they didn't even bother to take it up.
Here's the scary position we're in, though. And I hate to be like a bummer on a good day, but like, it's never been more important to Donald Trump to win this election.
Sure.
There's nothing more important now. The stakes just went up for him exponentially. It's so much more important for him. And if he wins, all the fucking governors are off, right? Because he just got convicted by what he probably believes is a left-wing conspiracy. There will be everything. All the fucking, gloves are off. Every illegal activity, it's all gonna, so if he wins, it's a total shit show.
Yeah.
If nothing could be more important now.
No,
because
no.
we've backed him into a corner.
Yeah. And building on what you said, genuinely, the stakes are high for everybody across the country. If you have time and have means, become an election judge. Do that work. Because we need people that are going to be fair and that are going to be honest and that are going to know the rules and know how things work in those places. So if you have any opportunity to do that, you should do it, because there's going to be an influx of people that don't know and that want to change things and that want to be biased. And we need people that are unbiased in that situation.
That's right.
Tom, we gotta
go.
We gotta go soon. So
Yeah,
we're gonna
we gotta
wrap it up in a couple of minutes here. We want to thank everybody on this very momentous day for joining us today for a very short live stream. We haven't streamed in a long time. We're happy people have been here.
Yeah.
We just talked about it. We should have a live stream sometime in June. Our June schedule looks like it'll probably be around the 20th. We'll probably have a live stream if we decide to live stream. Check the Facebooks and all that to see if that's true. And then, Tom, the 11th.
On the 11th.
On the 11th.
I got to check that out.
Tom's got to check it out. But if we're around, if Tom can't make it, I might do it. I might just be up. I might just come to the studio and be like, hey, guys, here's this big fucking thing that happened today. So genuinely, we want to make sure that we're on in these couple of days and you guys come by. So thank you so much for coming and for hanging out with us. We're gonna bounce because Tom and I are gonna go celebrate. So thank you guys for joining us. We're gonna wave and Ian's gonna do something, right?
Oh
Ian?
yes. Well, I'm gonna read the last super chat. Cecil, your beard is fire from Taco.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. I
There
think
you
you're
go.
probably talking about Tom. They get us confused all the time.
No, it's you. It's you. It's
Cheers,
always
guys.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Big kisses. Mwah.
So what else happened today?
Not much.
Nothing
Nothing
matters.
really. Yeah.
That's cool. I finished.
I literally can't scroll past that headline.
I know.
Oh, that's
Like,
true.
why would I scroll past that headline? That's the only headline. That's it.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.